Welcome back to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. And we have a match report, and we're going to report on Manchester City 2, Liverpool 2. Yes, at the Etihad, Sunday the 10th of January, 10th of April 2022. I've lost it, guys. I've lost it already. Yeah, we would have took that before the game, wouldn't we? But obviously the way it panned out, we'll let them off the hook just a little bit, I thought, on the balance of play. We have just one Liverpool fan at work, and his immediate comment was it was a fair result. But after I'd picked myself up off the floor laughing, we'll see. We'll see what happens on Sunday, Saturday, isn't it? I'm losing track of what day it is. We'll see what happens with that. But let's stay positive. It could have been worse, couldn't it, guys? I mean, before this match, it was in our both hands, wasn't it? Liverpool, it was in their hands to win the league, and now it isn't. They can't do anything about it now unless we slip up. Will both teams go the rest of the season without slipping up? I find that very difficult to believe, but 7 games, why not? We've done it before, we can do it again. Right, the teams, yes. City team, interesting couple. I got 9 right of the City team. Ederson, Walker, Stones, Laporte, Cancelo, Rodri, KDB, Bernardo. The couple I got wrong were up front. Obviously, Jesus came in, which was, when you look back at how well he performed against Liverpool at Anfield, that was probably reasonable, but he's not been getting much game time, has he? So it was a bit of a surprise. Sterling, again, played okay recently against Liverpool, but we know he's not great, so that a little bit of a surprise again. And certainly Foden was no surprise. We knew Foden was going to be up there, didn't we? Playing in the team. On the bench, so we had Ake, Gundogan, Grealish, Zinchenko, Stefan, Ferner, Mahrez, McAtee and Lavia. So not a bad bench, but I haven't got Liverpool's bench, but they had a quite impressive bench. They've got quite an impressive squad at the moment. With respect to them, I think it is. I mean, obviously they've got the best players in the world in every position, haven't they? But obviously they still can't beat us, but that's by the by. Alisson, Robertson, Van Dijk, Matip, Alexander, Arnold, Henderson, Alexander-Arnold, yes, that's one player, not 2. Henderson, Fabinho, Alcantara, is it? Yeah, Mane, Jota and Salah. Alcantara, I didn't notice him too much yesterday, but I don't even know what he looks like, so I probably wouldn't. And we had the useless, apparently City fan, according to Liverpool fans, Anthony Taylor. We didn't see any sort of that yesterday, did we? And on VAR, the ultra useless as well, Paul Tierney, unfortunately, on VAR. Perhaps he thought he had to make up for something. I don't know what. Match report, quickly go through all the key points. 3 minutes, Sterling. 5 minutes. Yeah, it was literally about half a minute before we got the goal. But Sterling has a great chance. Just one-on-one, and he didn't just find the net. Alisson made himself big and saved it with an outstretched leg. Could Sterling have done better? Possibly. So we're not the greatest start. 5 minutes, a quickly taken free kick. Fed to KDB. As I think I said on a pod last night on Bolt from the Blue, he just, sometimes when he takes that ball now, he just looks like Yaya. It's just the way he just powers his way through, and that's what Yaya was so good at. And it just fingers crossed we keep him fit for the rest of the season, because when he picks that ball up sometimes and moves forward, it's wonderful to watch, and there's usually a great pass on the end of it. And on this one, there was a shot, and it took a wicked deflection. Thank you, Mr. Matip. More money for my charity, my Christie's charity, with that goal, because I had KDB anytime goal scorer. So a nice deflection. It was on target, so he gets credited with it. And Alisson had no chance, so he just sort of spun round him really onto the post and into the net. I thought it was hitting the post and going back out again, but I was so chuffed when obviously it settled in the net. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say Liverpool pummeled us, but obviously on 13 minutes, Jota equalised for Liverpool. We didn't clear our lines. I think it was a Bernardo header, was headed out, but it sort of fell for Liverpool. And I think Salah put it in, didn't he? And Jota just a nice side foot under Ederson a bit. Some people I wasn't sure if he could have done better. It was just one of those where it sort of was hit very close to him. He didn't have a lot of time to react, so perhaps he could have saved it with a boot rather than trying to dive. That's the only thing that probably did confuse me as an ex-keeper myself. Just sometimes he sort of dived over it, right? Just stick a foot out, and at least you've got a chance of clearing it then if you block it with your foot. But anyway, a lot of people didn't particularly blame Ederson. I won't say I'm going to blame him. I just thought he might have done a little bit better. So that was 1-1, 16 minutes. Jesus was straight at Alisson with a chance. 23 minutes, yeah, Edison wanted to see if the goal line technology was working when he got his stud stuck and he had to clear off the line. Very calmly, of course. You see his face, no panic at all. He knew he had a bit of time. He knew he had probably had another 20 centimetres or so to go. So he didn't panic. He was calm and just passed it to the side in the end. 25 minutes, Liverpool caught napping. But Stones, yeah, I mean, Rodri at back header at the post. And if we'd had anyone else but Stones, it was who was left to Stones, he didn't quite read the header from Rodri quick enough, and he couldn't quite reach it. So that was 25 minutes, so close. 35 minutes, Cancelo wasteful with his hits the side netting. Won't be the first player to do that for City. I think Kevin did it as well, although I've not got him down here, but I'm sure he did it, and we'll talk about one later on as well. 36 minutes. Great goal, a well-timed run by Jesus. Very tight. I mean, it just looked as tight as the one we got cancelled when I looked back at VAR this morning. There wasn't a lot between them, I didn't think, but one stood and one didn't. Well, who knows? I suppose it's supposed to favour the attacker, isn't it? We'll talk about Sterling in a minute. But, of course, Jesus just onside, superb, and puts it in off the underside of the bar. And from an excellent Cancelo sort of cross into the box. And, you know, that was a great ball, whip balling. 2-1 at half-time. Yeah, as I said, Pep probably told the guys just to keep it tight for 10 or 15 minutes. Did they listen to him? Probably not, because within 50 seconds it was 2-2. Caught really cold, and from nothing, I think... I was on bolt from the blue last night, and I remember Edison kicking it straight to Alisson up the other end, and I think this was before this one. And Colin Savage said it was before this one, so he literally did that. And from the sort of build up to that, so I mean, we're talking 50 seconds from the build up to that. Obviously, Salah, great ball through. Walker was caught the wrong side, and it was just an easy goal. I mean, you couldn't blame Edison at all for that. An easy goal for Mane to side foot home. We were just totally caught cold. Very, very disappointing start to that second half. And for the first time, I think Liverpool took a little bit of control of the game. Only for 5 or 10 minutes. That was it. That was about all they had of control of the game. But they did. It didn't last long, because on 61 minutes, Jesus' chance was blocked. 63 minutes is a great through ball by KDB. And, of course, Sterling nutmegs Alisson, I think, puts it through him. But VAR cancels it for just offside. And as I say, I thought the benefit was given to the attacker. And that was so close from what I saw with the blue and red lines. I don't know what happened to favouring the attacker. Depending if you're playing Liverpool, I suppose, or something like that, that comes into being, if you like. 71 minutes. Possibly the only decision, I do mention it because it's probably the only decision that didn't go Liverpool's way with Mr. Taylor. A corner is given as a free kick. Yeah, it definitely took a deflection past Edison's post, and it was definitely a corner, and we got a goal kick. But as I say, that was 71 minutes, and as far as I know, it's the only real thing that went our way in the match as such. I mean, there's plenty of fouling and no yellow cards being shown by Taylor, and then he showed Bernardo a yellow card for something innocuous. There was hardly anything in it, and yet Bernardo was shown a yellow card straight away. There you go. 72 minutes of poor decision making, yeah, from Jesus again. I mentioned the side netting, didn't I? He put a shot into the side netting when perhaps certainly KDB was free. I believe Sterling was in and around there as well. Should have done a lot better. I mean, it's all right being greedy, but as long as it goes in the net. But he didn't, did it? And we have the same problem at the end of the game as well, didn't we? With another one of our stars. 75 minutes, Sterling off, Mahrez on, which was probably right at the time. Sterling had shot his bolt. He hadn't done too bad. He missed a couple, but he'd done okay, Sterling, I thought, yesterday. 83 minutes, Jesus off for Grealish on. And 90 minutes, yeah, a chance. Mahrez free kick. It never looked as though it was going into us from the other end, or we were up the far end. But it did glance outside the post. Actually looked as though Alisson got a hand to it from where we were, and we're dead surprised it wasn't a corner. So, but obviously, on replay that I watched late last night, it was obviously glanced the side of the post. And then Mahrez, again, another one with a late chance to win. Another great KDB ball. Perhaps he could have found someone. He'd tried to chip Alisson rather than sort of bend it with his left foot. But if you look back at it, might have took a slight deflection, so we're perhaps being a bit unfair on Mahrez. Whether it had gone in anyway, I'm not too sure, but it looked as though the Liverpool defender got something on it, and it took a slight deflection. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But what a chance for Mahrez to step up and win the game for us. That it would have certainly banished all those ghosts from that missed penalty 3 or 4 years ago, wouldn't it, if he'd done that? Hey, but never mind. key stats, yes, shots 11 for City, 5 on target. That's okay. That's all right. Not a great amount of shots. 6 from Liverpool, 4 on target, showing their more, I call it, clinicality in front of goal. So that was okay, but I said almost double the opportunities. Possession was interesting, 55%, 45%. Yeah, Liverpool very rarely give up possession like we don't, but obviously we had more possession. I thought it was a little bit higher than that, in all fairness. I thought that was quite low. Pass completion, City's was a lot lower than normal because of the way Liverpool play. They're a good team, so you're not going to get as many passes hitting the man. It was 85% for City, which, it's usually 89, 90, 91%. And 80% only for Liverpool. So it wasn't great for Liverpool either. So let's go on to the ratings. My starting point is 7. There's only one guy last night who got less than 7. So I've started with a 7. I'm not saying I don't know what Stuart Brennan started with, but he gives some high marks. So I assume he started quite high. So my minimum is 7 if you have a good average game. Anything more than that, they've had a better game. So we'll go through. I'll give Stuart's description. Then my little thoughts. Edison Stewart said, give everyone kittens with his turf kick. Yeah, but it was otherwise sound and not a fault for the goal. So he's given a 6. Pretty low from Stewart, actually, based on his scores. And I've given a 6.5. He's the only one under 7 for me. I thought his distribution wasn't great. I thought it perhaps could have done better with that first goal. So, yeah, I would have to say, unusually, I very rarely mark Edison less than the average, but, yeah, I would have to give him a 6.5. Kyle Walker Stewart said, open up the Liverpool left every time he ventured forward, and his pace was keen defence. It was. He's given him an 8, so I've given him a 7.5. I mean, it was caught out like the rest of us, and obviously, you say you can blame Kyle, but I think as a team we were caught out in that second half. But I think he had a great game other than that. I remember him zooming over to the left-hand side at one instance at Liverpool attacking the first half, and me and my lad just looked at each other and thought we could do with cloning Walker, just have him on both sides for that speed, because he just sort of pelted across and stopped an attack down the right-hand side, and he was obviously defending the Liverpool's left-hand side, and the attack had come down their right. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7.5. Stuart give him an 8. John Stone Stewart said, lack of coordination with Walker handed Mane his goal. Yeah, as I say, I think they're all a little bit to blame. But he stood up well to a classy front three. I thought he played very well, John Stones. They've got a great front three, Liverpool. They sort of miss out the midfield occasionally and just go straight to them two. And I think he coped really well. Stuart's given him a 7. I've given him a 7.5. Aymeric Laporte impeccably timed tackle denied Jota, says Stuart, in the first half. It did, I remember that. And he was solid and constructive throughout. Yeah, he's given an 8. I'm not going to disagree with that. I give Laporte an 8. Looked in control, as I say, but not one City that didn't make minor mistakes, but obviously any mistakes Laporte made didn't really cost us anything. So, yeah, I give him an 8 as well. Cancelo clearly learned from Salah's school in October, defending well and attacking superbly. He did. I thought it was great defensively and going forward yesterday. Certainly that cross for the goal for Jesus' goal. Stuart's given him an 8. I give him an 8. A better display for me, both backwards and forwards. So more of that, please, Cancelo. I could live with that. Rodri had the game under wraps in the first half, but had to dig deep in a much fiercer battle after the break. Yeah, I thought Rodri did okay. Stuart's given him an 8. I give him a 7.5. He worked hard. Nothing spectacular, but that's just Rodri, isn't it? Bernardo Silva is pirouetting prancing style, says Stuart. Winds Liverpool up no end, and the City fans love him for it. Of course we do. We love him for that. He's given him an 8, Stuart. I give him an 8 as well. And he was actually, I think Colin mentioned it last night, he was actually like a double, he's coming back. I was looking at my lad and saying, is he playing defensive midfielder, this guy? And it was like the double pivot with Rodri. He was actually coming back to help Rodri, which is probably why he had a good performance in the first half, Rodri, as well, because Bernardo was literally picking the ball up on the edge of our box and moving forward with it. A fantastic, wonderful display by Bernardo. Must have covered every inch of the ground as usual. And I say, perhaps we missed a little bit of his inventiveness, perhaps near a goal, but a fantastic display for me. So I give him an 8 and Stuart give him an 8. Kevin De Bruyne got lucky with his goal. He did, but if you shoot, there's always a chance it'll get deflected, it'll go in. So at least have the shot, and that's what he does. Unfortunate that his assist to Sterling was marginally offside. It was, because it's great. So Stuart's given him an 8. I've given him an 8.5. I thought it was superb. As I said, I've compared him to Yaya in his pomp when he's moving forward, and I think he's enjoying it. I'm just fingers crossed. I just expect at some stage him to pick up an injury. So, fingers crossed he can carry on and lead us to the rest of the season, because I think he's a big, as I think I've said before, guys, if you watch my blogs, the big difference between winning trophies this season and not winning trophies. But great stuff from KDB again. Gabriel Jesus, a great finish, says Stuart. Some fine attacking, but Pep was furious when he shot with De Bruyne and Akers. Yeah, well, this is it. This is where it's all right being greedy if you score. But again, he's not been getting the game time, has he? So you need at the high pressure like that. I thought he had a great game, considering the fact he's not been playing much. Stuart gave him a 7. I've given him a 7.5. I thought he played really well. He let himself down with that one poor decision, of course he did. But I thought overall he played very, very well. He scored a goal. We can't ask much more. Phil Foden, Stuart said, revelled in the world-class company. He did, causing Liverpool all kinds of problems. He did without anything specific. You couldn't put your finger on, say this or this or this. So yeah, I mean, Stuart's given him a 9. I mean, that was amazing. I'd give him an 8.5, because I agree. Even though I couldn't say to you, remember this he did, remember that he did. It's just something about his display for me. And he just loves playing Liverpool, of course. Raheem Sterling, Stuart said, unlucky to be just offside. He was, as I say. Some people say he wasn't, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they say, does it? And denied by Alisson early on. Yeah, I mean, he could have done better. He perhaps should have done better. It was early in the game. Yeah, I mean, obviously, a proper striker would probably score that. And we know our problems. We know we haven't got one. And we have to accept the limitations of the squad we've got as far as taking chances. Stuart's given him a 7. I've given him an 8. I thought it was one of his best games he's played against Liverpool. And so close to being a hero, especially with that goal that was ruled out for offside. I mean, he would have definitely been up there in people's minds if that had counted, and he was calm enough. Alisson tried to stop it and he beat him. So, yeah, but I wasn't surprised when he was substituted, in all fairness. But I thought he had a good game. I thought he played okay, Sterling. I have no qualms about how he played. And the subs, yeah, no time to mark. Obviously, Riyad Mahrez. Stuart, no time to mark. He could have been a hero, couldn't he? But that's how it is. Jack Grealish, again. I think he tried one big dribble and got stopped. My man of the match, I actually put it out as Foden last night, guys, because I thought overall, as I said, even though I couldn't put my finger on what he did, I just knew he had a great game. But I'm going to drop that. I'm just going to say the whole team. But all right, we'll let Edison off the whole team, because I thought as a team performance, it was, if not our best of the season, I think for 90 minutes, I mean, we played better in sections of games. I mean, obviously you think of United at Old Trafford, and let's face it, United are crap. So this sort of performance against Liverpool, yes, we made mistakes, of course we are, but Liverpool are a good team about. It's not all going to go our way. So I just thought the whole team played superbly. So as I said, I did put Phil Foden, but I'm just going to say the whole team last night. I'm not going to have a particular man of the match now. I've changed my mind. I could do that. It's my show. So there you go. Overall record against Liverpool now, yeah, it would have been nice to get another victory, wouldn't it? We played 86 at our place. This is in the league. 131. Drawn 25 and lost 30. So we're still in the plus column. 130 goals scored and 125 let in. Liverpool going forward, well, at least we've stopped that winning momentum, haven't we? But they've still got a bit of a momentum. So they're not going to be totally disappointed with that, and they'll still be confident that they can do so. But as I said, we've got to hope we slip up now. And I think they'll be grateful that they escaped that yesterday with a point, because it could have been easily 3 points lost if we took our chances. Again, if they we've scored a third, there's nothing to say they might not have gone up the other end and scored again, because they look quite calm, calm and calculating, and they have the ability, and perhaps at 2-2 they were happy to take that. But at the moment, it's out of their hands, guys. There's nothing they can do. We win the next 7, it's our title, and there's absolutely sod all Liverpool can do about it. Well, as I said before, will both teams win the next 7 games? There's no reason why not, but I'd be very surprised if both teams do. But we'll see. As for us, yeah, again, on the same sort of theme. If we can keep up that intensity all right, we're not going to keep it for 90 minutes over 7 games, but if we can sort of put good teams out, take a 2 or 3 goal lead, and then pull players off, if you like, at key times to rest them, so we get our best team starting games. Then there's certainly of our 7 games, there's 3 or 4 we should be reasonably comfortable with. And there'll be 2 or 3 that will be difficult, that we will have to play at our very best to get anything. But yeah, I think I put our chances in a percentage now as 55, and I think I did this the other day. If we draw, I said it'd be 55-45 in City's favour to win this title, and I'll stick with that. I don't think I'm going to change that. We've got 2 winnable home games coming up, of course. Brighton don't play too badly. I mean, we stuffed them at their place. I was there that day, but Brighton played very well and could have easily been leading at one stage. And Watford, who've, they're probably down. They're not mathematically down, but, at the end of the day, they're perhaps relaxed and playing with a little bit more confidence. But we should still be beating Brighton and Watford. And obviously, Liverpool have Everton and United at the same time. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? If both of us get through those 2 games still winning, then it'd be very interesting last 5 games, that's for sure, with our next one being Leeds away, of course. And I think the players should be happy with that performance. I think Pep was happy with the performance. I think the fans should be proud of the players. As I say, we didn't take our chances, but that's the constraints we've got this season. We know we haven't got a striker. We know we haven't got a guy. We had an half-decent guy up there. We could score more goals, but we have to accept that. And within the constraints of our limitations, which we have, I thought the players should be proud of what they did yesterday. I thought they played very, very well. And we carry on doing that, we will win the league. It's as simple as that. And, of course, remain positive for the FA Cup semi-final. Liverpool probably think they can play better, but I thought defensively Liverpool were exposed yesterday. I thought they were caught where we're putting it behind. Their trick is to put it behind us, and we were doing exactly what they do to us. So I thought it was great. I think Liverpool will probably change a little bit, and they've got players on the bench who didn't get a chance in that game. So, yeah, it'd be interesting with the semi-final. I think there'll probably be 3 or 4 changes to that Liverpool team at least. But we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the preview later in the week, guys. So anyway, let's hopefully we can remain positive for the FA Cup semi-final. City are the better team on a match-to-match basis. City against Liverpool. City are the better team. It is as simple as that. But things that, it's that close. It can go either way. But City are the better team. Remember that, and that's the positiveness I'm looking for this. So please. Join me next week as we look forward, of course. Well, join me next week. I'll be doing the vlog today, and it might be out today as well. It might be out Tuesday, but I'm trying to get out Monday evening. The quarter-final, second leg, of course, in the Champions League against Atletico and Madrid. So look out for the preview of that. And, of course, the odds show as well. And then obviously later in the week, the semi-final. It's all action, guys, isn't it? There's no time for history vlogs this week, guys. It's all new stuff. But let me know your player ratings. Let me know what you thought of the game. I'd love to hear from you. And you guys as well. I mean, a lot of regulars get in touch. It's great to hear from you. But anyone new, give us a shout. Tell me what you thought. Even if you're a Liverpool fan, you're listening to this, and you're if you didn't, as long as you're not going to turn around and say it was a fair result, you can say what you want. You can do what you want. But hey, on to Saturday. Let's see what happens then. We start from 0-0, don't we? We start from scratch again. We just see who the referee is. Actually, I don't know who it is yet. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I only ask one thing: if you don't until we meet again, please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.